One of my earliest memories was sitting on my living room couch watching peak cinema for a 10-year-old, and that of course was Pokemon Indigo League. Oh, and Ratatouille, like, we should really talk about this movie more. Wait, sorry, that's off topic. I found myself becoming more and more obsessed with these little monsters on my screen. I'd watch episode after episode and find a new favorite little guy each time. I eventually became so infatuated with Pokemon that when McDonald's would get a new toy selection, I begged my parents to go over and over again to try to have them all. I took this knowledge happily into the 3rd grade, where my friend told me something that absolutely blew up my 8-year-old mind. There are Pokemon games? Hi. I'm here now and it's my birthday, so you will say happy birthday to me now. Yes, say happy birthday. Well, in retrospect, this sounds absolutely stupid. I don't think I've ever felt so excited for anything in my entire life. And I've played Cars 2 on the Wii. So when I finally got my copy of Pokemon Y, it instantly became one of my favorite games of all time. I flew throughout the entire game and eventually learned something called Shiny Pokemon, which, if you know anything about me, didn't become the personality for the rest of my life. Yep. The Kalos region itself surprisingly has many different hunts within it, and as a kid, I knew about most of these, but some were harder to do than others were. So like every other video on this channel, it's time to do something that I could never do as a kid. Complete every single Pokemon X and Y hunt. Alright, let's get it out of the way. I'm not doing Masuda. I just really don't see the point of sitting here and hatching eggs when, you know, I could do that in every other Pokemon game ever released, so technically I'm not doing that hunt. Moving on, the first of 4 methods that I'll be doing here is the Friend Safari. This method of any involves the least amount of friction possible to do a hunt. It's pretty simple. You walk in, you choose a safari, and then you start hunting. If anything, this is just a glorified random encounter method with a little bit better odds. With the Shiny Charm, the odds change from about 1 in 1365 all the way up to 1 in 585. Also, I meant to bring this up earlier, but yeah, the footage of the actual gameplay is not going to look perfect here, but I almost feel as if that's the point. To me, this video is about experiencing these hunts that I never got to do as a kid. I want to evoke the same feeling that catching these as a kid would have by using a terrible microphone and camera. The only thing with the actual Friend Safari hunts is you aren't able to do them immediately. After beating the game, you unlock and are able to travel to Kilut City, where within the city you can find the Friend Safari in the top right corner. As far as the actual hunting process goes, there's really not much to talk about here. After picking the safari of your choosing, you just do manual resets until you're able to find what you're looking for. So I began this hunt while working on other videos, and after an indiscreet amount of encounters, because I forgot to count them, I found my shiny. What? That was so fast! Oh my god! That's crazy! Okay, yeah, we're doing this. That's crazy. That was so fast. That was maybe a maximum an hour of hunting? I guess the odds are 1 in 500, but like, that's crazy to me. I definitely want a Charmeleon, but I mean, I'm not gonna complain that I take that 100 out of 100 times. Like, that's awesome. Of my 2 options in this area between Charmeleon and Pansear, I would have much preferred to get Charmeleon. That being said though, I honestly didn't hate finding a shiny Pansear. I'm a very rare breed of person, and these Pokemon actually don't bother me that much. In fact, I kind of like them. So I wasn't too upset about getting this Pokemon at all. With the Fire Monkey now in my possession, I headed to Route 8 to take on the next hunt in this challenge. Arriving here, I headed to the part of this route that is near the exit of the connecting cave. Would normally be considered a normal route, can be turned into a shiny hunting route using our next method, Horde hunting. Like the previous hunt, this is also a twisted version of just your random encounter method. Differentiating from it, however, this one actually still has the standard odds of finding a shiny Pokemon. However, if you happen to have a Pokemon that knows the move Sweet Scent, you can encounter up to 5 Pokemon at a time using it. So, to put it simply, this is basically just a random encounter method. You're just spawning 5 at a time. This can be done on any route, however I chose Route 8 specifically because I wanted one Pokemon, Zangoose. Due to me playing on Pokemon X, Hordes here will spawn 4 Zangoose and 1 Seviper. I for some reason always really liked the shiny Pokemon, and after putting thousands and thousands of hours into Pokemon, I've somehow never found one. This isn't the only thing that spawns on this route though. I also have a chance of getting a Taillow or Wingull, but surely that wouldn't happen. Either way, I began this hunt, and much like the last hunt, there really isn't too much to talk about for it. It took a little to get into the actual flow of using Sweet Scent, but once I got that down, it was pretty simple. I continued on, and after a surprisingly low amount of time, I was able to find what I was looking for. Shiny Wingull? Dude, that's so under odds. And that's not Zangoose. Wow. Okay, well, we're 0 for 2 on shinies I wanted. That's not a great start. Yeah, that's not really what I wanted, but I mean, that's about half my odds, so I mean, I take that every time. Okay, I didn't find exactly what I was looking for, but this challenge isn't looking for certain Pokemon, this is about doing methods. So I'm gonna take what I was given, especially with those low odds. For the next hunt, we'll actually be staying on this route, just heading down the mountain and into the water. Chain fishing on the surface can be considered more difficult than the other two, but that really comes more in the execution than anything else. This method involves lining up in an area surrounded by 3 walls, which can be seen with this example within Shellor City. Another thing that's not mandatory but will certainly help is to have a Pokemon with the ability of Sticky Hold or Suction Cups. This ability will decrease the odds of you not receiving a bite when you're attempting to chain, which can make this a little bit easier to do. Speaking of odds, the odds for this actual shiny hunt are a bit strange. Starting with a chain of 1, your shiny odds will gradually increase the more you catch in your chain. The number maxes out at 20 though, leaving the odds of 1 in 96 for your shiny. This hunt is actually able to be done really easily without the shiny charm as well. A max chain without the shiny charm will give you the odds of 1 in 100, which is close enough to the shiny charm odds where you don't even really need it. But with all the prerequisites out of the way, it's finally time to begin the hunt. While you can do this virtually anywhere, I chose to stay with the route that I was already on and hunt a Pokemon that I've always really wanted, Staryu. Using the good rod here allows you to spawn either a Staryu or a Chloritzer. His name is Clauncher, what am I on about? But either way, I'll be rolling the dice once again for my shiny. Compared to the previous 2 hunts, I was struggling a lot more on this one. My chains were continually breaking, whether I wasn't getting a bite or I was just missing the quick time event, which was most of the time. But alas, about 15 broken chains later, I was finally able to get to a chain of 50 where I finally found my shiny. Oh, let's go. Oh, the mic was so far away, my fault. Oh, I finally got the shiny I was looking for. It's at least good to get one that I actually wanted, since I failed Zangoose and Charmeleon. Dude, I love that shiny. That shiny is so pretty. Nice. With Staryu caught, I moved on to the final hunt in this challenge. My entire reason for making this video was to do this specific hunt. I remember vividly getting this item right after beating Pokemon Y and having no idea what I was supposed to do with it. I attempted to use it and would always just get the same error message, and even when I looked up line, never got the answer I was looking for. That was until about 6 months ago. I was watching a Johnstone stream, which had led me to this YouTuber, which somehow has less subscribers than I do. The radar route analysis, along with the comprehensive videos that go along with it, are some of the most helpful pieces of media I've ever consumed. I've linked them down below if you want to attempt these hunts, because I fear they can explain it a million times better than I ever could. Well, I'm not going to go too into details about this specific hunt because it can be very confusing. There's one specific part about it I want to talk about. Unlike other Poke-Radar methods in previous games, Pokemon X and Y has a special mechanic within it. That mechanic is called fast music. While radaring, you might hear the typical radar music change into a more fast-paced upbeat track. The chance of this music occurring is about 2%, but can be increased to 4% by, I kid you not, it being your birthday. Which, ironically, it is. So, we're gonna subscribe. It was worth a shot. The chance of any given patch being shiny is increased to 1 in 100 for the duration that it's up. The only downside with this is that the music can just disappear after 1 reset. During my many attempts of radaring, I really only got this once and it immediately disappeared, so I didn't even get to really use its full potential. Speaking of those attempts, my first one was with the Ducklets, where I got about a chain of 20 before accidentally breaking. This was ultimately fine with me, as I was really only doing it to try to learn how to actually do this hunt, so even though I didn't get the shiny I was looking for, I have a nice building block to go off. With my practice now out of the way, I decided to head to Route 14 where I wanted to find my final Pokemon for this hunt. And you could probably guess who I'm hunting, as they've been staring at you for a majority of this video. Yumi was an easy choice for this final hunt, as they're a native to the Kalos region, but I've never had them shiny in this game before. I thought it only made sense, and I have them in my phone case. Like, what more sense do I need? So I began doing the hunts, and I failed. A lot. I gotta be locked in. I'm so dumb. I looked away. Oh, feels bad, man. Fuck! There was a thing right there. There's just no way. Oh, man. That wasn't Nope, I'm overcooked. I don't know if I can do it, man. I'm gonna keep trying, but like, I just don't know if I can do it. But even after all the fails, I continued on, and I eventually found my shiny Gumi.
So, yeah, that's not true. Hi, it's editing me at 2 a.m. in the morning after attempting to find this shiny Gumi all day. I think impossible. Is it due to a lack of patience? Yes, but that's not important right now. I think I'd much rather dedicate a whole 50-hour video to learning how to do this actual radar method and do multiple hunts than try to force this out. Plus, I wrote into the script that it's my birthday, so it needs to be done. So yeah, this isn't goodbye, Gumi. It's just see you later. Anyway, moving on. While Pokemon X and Y are not super beloved games in the franchise, these games will always hold a very special place in my heart. So finally getting to do these hunts felt so strangely accomplishing to me after dreaming of doing them my whole life. And like always, if you did stick around this long to watch, I greatly appreciate it and would appreciate you subscribing. At least consider it. I fear I'm addicted to making videos. Help. But otherwise, that's it. Bye. Bye forever now, like always. Bye forever now. Please come back. You'll come back. You came back this time. For sure you did. I'm sure you're coming back and you're not old new. Right? Yeah. Okay. Bye now. Bye.